Hey guys, Wally Renee here, and we're going to talk a little bit about this case 8 and 9. Relatively simple case, although there are some gingival architecture issues. Luckily, she has a low lip line. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to set this up, both of these teeth, as pre-op copy. But we're going to do something kind of unique in that we're going to copy number 8, but then mirror 8 to 9. So here's the final impression scan. And you can see we cut off an old PFM 20-something-year-old porcelain fused and metal restoration on that tooth number 8 or 1-1. And now we're just scanning in the preparation, and we decided to do a veneer preparation on tooth number 9 or 2-1. And here I'm just, rotational based scanning. I just love this Emerald S scanner. As you guys know, it's my fave. Taking an HD snapshot of the prep right there. Really all I need is the anterior quadrant for this, and so that's what it's looking like there. And I'm looking at my veneer margin, and it looks phenomenal, but then you could say to yourself, well, where is that distal margin in relation to the lateral incisor? And as you could see, it's not as clear as I would like, so I'm going to probably go back and just take a snapshot of that. But real quick though, scanning the lower, that was like, I don't know, 10 seconds. Let's see, 7 seconds. That's all you need for the lower. And now I'm going to get the upper again, and I'm looking at that distal of the veneer prep. I can see my crown prep phenomenally well, and I'm just going to take a few more snapshots. I also like that these snapshots go right into the Romexis electronic health record. If I need to ever recall those, I can. We use them actually quite a bit to send to insurance companies and things like that. So it's a really good kind of feature. So that's all I did, is I just took some HD photos there to crispen up that line right there on the distal. So now we have no issues. Now here's the bite. The bite scan is, bite scan. It's a slower scan, so try not to break any world speed records when you scan a bite, to give the computer some time to try to merge those models. Orientation, looking straight down on that tooth number 8 there, marking my margin here, using the trace icon. It takes, I don't know. This is real time, so it takes no time at all to mark a margin when you have a nice crisp color image there. Really cool. All right, spend some time on your margin. I don't think there's any step that should be rushed, but if you were going to just be a little bit slow, the margin marking would be that stage, because your restoration is only going to fit as well as your margin is marked. Now, there's a few things that you'll notice on tooth number 9. One is that if you look at the chamfer finish line, there's a undercut apical to the finish line on the facial. She has a little bit of a non-carious cervical lesion there, and you might say to yourself, well, why not extend the preparation down to the cementum of the root to get rid of that non-carious cervical lesion? And the answer is that I would rather bond to that enamel and support it with a veneer than go down on cementum root structure with my veneer. And so here we are, just marking that margin. This is kind of a standard veneer prep here, maybe just a little bit aggressive because we have some color issues. We have to have slightly uniform thick materials, and tooth number 8 is a pretty dark stump shade or prep shade, where tooth number 9 is a pretty bright one. So if I had and I'm using a medium translucency glass, so sometimes it becomes really difficult in these instances to get color match. So now here I am on tooth number 9, okay, but I'm marking tooth number 8, and I clicked contralateral, that little green check mark down there, okay? But I'm on tooth 2-1, or tooth number 9. Now I'm going to go to tooth number 8, and I'm not going to click contralateral, and I'm going to recircle tooth number 8. So basically for tooth number 8, proposal, I'm going to copy the existing number 8. And for tooth number 9 proposal, I'm going to mirror image tooth number 8. So then I should have 2 perfectly symmetrical proposals. So now you're going to go to the plan tab, and you're not going to manipulate tooth number 8 because it's going to be perfectly placed over the tooth. But then you're just going to manipulate the mirror image shell. This little skin is a perfect mirror image of tooth number 8. And so you just spend some time here, look at it from multiple angles. Just make sure that you spend your time kind of here because it's going to save you time later. I think this feature is just phenomenal. This ability to mirror image and copy has been a game changer for multiple unit anteriors for me. I used to spend a decent amount of time trying to get proposals to be symmetrical. Really love this. As you'll see, the design is going to be pretty straightforward here. But once again, altering this skin so that you have a perfect mirror image. Now, make sure you set this case up right, guys. You would pick for both of these in the setup tab, you would pick pre-op. Okay, the only difference is for tooth number 9, you're going to make sure you check that green check mark on the contralateral. Okay, so so here's the deal. That red little library tooth should be incisal to the green tooth. I'm going to show you what happens when you don't do that. Now you can smooth the interproximal while you have it visible right there, and I'm certainly doing that. And I'm going to go back and then add a little bit of dropper to recontour that to be a slightly convex surface versus a concave surface. Now here's the deal. That red tooth is not apical to the green, and look what happens on that distal. It just shrunk it down. Not cool. So all you do is redo the proposal and move that red tooth incisal to the green tooth. There you go. Now you're going to get a perfect copy. Great. Some little eccentricities that have been in the software forever. You just have to know how to kind of get around them, but it's phenomenal nevertheless. So now Control-Alt to turn the teeth that stone color. I really get distracted by the blue. I don't like it when I design, so this feature to turn it kind of stone color is really helpful for things like surface texture because it's not going to throw you off with the weird colors. And, we're pretty much done here. I'm going to do a little things that you don't need to do. If you were the type of person that doesn't want to fool around with much, we could have just went straight to mill there. I'm pretty sure we would have been fine. And so that whole design process is just so fast. But I always have to add a personal touch, just being me. I really like to spend just a little bit more time on anterior design than posterior design. So I'm looking at all the different line angles here, ghosting over my pre-op, checking everything that I think is important to me. And I'm going to probably spend some time on that mesial embrasure space of 8 and 9. It's the most important aesthetic space in the mouth. And it's really important to get that symmetrical so you avoid any appearance of canted midlines or asymmetrical midlines there. That triangle there is the sacred triangle that makes or breaks an anterior case. And so most of my time is spent in this triangle. Sacred space right here where I'm trying to perfectly match the mesial embrasure, facial, gingival, and incisal embrasure space of 8 and 9. Looking at it from multiple angles, and I'm noticing that it's pretty close, but there's still a little bit of stuff that we could fix. So I'm going to go distal embrasure space is not quite as important, okay? Looking pretty good. I just don't like that mesial corner of number 8, so I'm going to put rubber tooth on as tiny as it'll go almost, and just finagle that a little bit right like that. That's nice. I really do. I do think that extra second to get that mesial embrasure is completely worth it. So cool. Yeah, now just fine tuning some things, checking my uniform thickness. Once again, that's kind of why we had to prepare tooth number 8 a little bit more than maybe I normally would, because I need to have medium translucency to be thick enough to hide. Now, okay, so here's a little thing. I set this up as a veneer here. My margin ramp on the veneer, I'm going to put it to just about my cement spacer, and I'm going to bump my cement spacer a smidge for the veneer to about 11. But my margin ramp is going to be 0.10 or 100 microns, and it's going to be always less than my cement space for a veneer. Okay. Proximal contact, straight, never concave, maybe convex, but never concave. And it's always going to be just a little bit of that kind of blue-green. I love it. It's my favorite color. It's this Hawaii Oasis. You know, I feel like I want to go swimming in that, but that's the color that I don't have to ever touch, ever. Literally never have to touch my proximals. So you can see for the veneer, we didn't quite break contact on the veneer. We usually go to mid-proximal with our veneer preps, or sometimes 1 millimeter lingual to mid-proximal, depending on how much we want to hide that. So here, that's actually natural tooth contact there that I'm just kind of smooth out. And once again, that color is just phenomenal. Perfect. That little black dot down there is just tissue contact, way down. And it's perfectly fine to have tissue contact. So here we are, just checking the bite real quick. Shouldn't have any occlusal issues because we copied the existing restoration, so that's perfect. Black is kind of the color I want, negative 100 to 200, because by the time you add glaze is about 100 microns, you'll be in perfect occlusion. Sprue position is tricky. Try to get it a little bit away from your margin so that you're not going to be guessing. Okay, I'm going to just sim this real quick. I'm looking for any errors in a simulation. Looks phenomenal. There she is. Everything's all delivered. 8 and 9 are color matched. She's a super happy camper. This is just a routine, easy case, guys, and I hope somehow that this video has helped you understand that these are just probably one of the easiest things you could do in dentistry. All right, thanks, guys.